Okay, I'm going to continue this video. The sex offenders are monitoring. They're going to prison and mental asylums. These demons are going to mental asylums. Their criminal activity is speaking to what is amplified in volume. While I'm wearing headphones and listening to content, I can't hear you dragging the shovel on the concrete. In the same way, when they're hammering on the ground, it's not causing the living room floor to vibrate. These are demons. And you also know that because they're under the fake sun that's in the same position it is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like I captured yesterday, when the demon was doing the exact same thing that the demon in unit number 43 was doing under the fake sun, and it's over the same parking spot as it will be reflecting off of the windshield. And you have the demons that are again engaging in gang stalking with the same Ontario International Airport. The entity is doing so while again at 1:30 in the afternoon, engineer lights swiping across Tracy Banks' cabinets on the inside. And who do you see outside? Gang stalking. He's going to a mental asylum. They're going to be deported. These are gang stalking immigrants. If they're not granted if they've been granted the privilege to be here, they're going to be deported. And Linda Reyes is facilitating. AVANATH Capital Management is facilitating. I want you to see that's appearing on the shade. That's the same method of engineer light that's inside of Tracy Banks' apartment, okay? And then you're remembering after 5 p.m. the fake sun is just right here, okay? And the engineer light is still, the fake sun is still in perfect alignment with me, and it's moving to be over unit 41 like it is at 8 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock, no matter where it is that I walk. And this is where it was at 2 o'clock. That's 2 hours from now, where you are looking at evidence of what defies nature. And this is called presence in the path. Walking in engineer light is activity creation. And they're doing so pursuant to what is the demons walking in the opposite direction. I already documented her. She's accessing the same black Mercedes. She's gang stalking. They're all going to be prosecuted. And these sex offenders are monitoring me inside of the apartment. All right? Landscaping is conspicuous stalking. It's conspicuous. And it's demonic activity. The Los Angeles Police Department is at the same exact time gang stalking me in helicopters at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles. And then the entity is exhibiting severe mental illness. They're going to mental asylums and they will be deported, okay? This is what the Ontario Police Department relies on. Gang stalking immigrants, criminal activity, profiting off of domestic terrorism, and they're exhibiting their mental instability in that specific environment. They're exhibiting mental instability while they are conspicuously stalking under ways that's no longer a mystery, and they persist in that false narrative, which is unpersuasive at this point, and the evidence as well. They're also engaged in federal stalking. They're doing so with the very occupants. License plate, DBUNI is crossing path. She's doing so under the fake sun that's over the same position at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And she's doing so not because she's headed to some destination and she's focused on me. She's gang stalking, and you know that because of the fake sun. This is the criminal engagement of the entire property that's stalking in violation of the Violence Against Women Act. They're engaged in psychological torture. And on the inside of Tracy Banks' apartment, engineer lights moving across her ceiling. It's not the product of sunlight. It's also not the imagination of the targeted individual that lacks the evidence to prove that it's happening. So I'm getting the outside circumstances, the demon in unit number 43, the demons of the Southwest Airlines and the demons of the Ontario International Airport, the demons of AVANATH Capital Management, the demons of RGS, who are engaged in criminal activity. All of this is criminal. They're doing nothing other than profiting from what is a commercial means of federal group stalking and monitoring in California. This is the circumstance where LAPD is engaged in the same P.O.C, psychological torture and gang stalking by helicopter in an environment that is irreconcilable, and it's going to be used against them in court commercially and also civilly. They're going to federal prison. These sex offenders that are monitoring my genitalia, whose license plates are already documented, this RGS vehicle here, this RGS vehicle here, and this is again criminal presence in the path. The fake sun doesn't go anywhere well into the afternoon, where they're facilitating that P.O.C as an apartment complex is engaging it on behalf of the city of Ontario. This is also directly speaking to the public corruption that Paul Leon is engaging in. All right, it is currently 11:27, and the previous video is a part of the ongoing footage because the entity is monitoring on my device, so that's why you have the inexplicable just stopping of recording. The entity it's one video together, consistent documentation. You're going to look at what I documented yesterday in the evening, images and video that I captured even the day before, because it's an ongoing accumulated pattern of conduct that's on a day-to-day basis based on the nature of the evidence. The entity is stalking as indicated through an environment that defies nature. It's a scientific phenomenon that the sun would rise here, where RGS is gang stalking under the fake sun at 7 in the morning. Crossing a path, audible activity, demon possession. And he's going to a mental asylum. He's going to a mental asylum. And this is what's amplified in volume inside of the apartment. That's impossible audible activity. speaking to under the fake sun, light activity, and this is, you have to be present around me to be gang stalking. That's relevant positioning, stalking in the path. And this is a system that the government is practicing. These are all demons that are actually pacing, and they're also monitoring with all the demons inside of their apartments. Everybody's going to prison in units 33 through 48 and 49 through 64. They maintain presence around me while this fake sun is both rising and setting. You see RGS under the fake sun at 7:28 in the morning on February 28, 2024, same time of year. You see RGS under the fake sun right now at 11 o'clock in the morning. You see RGS under the fake sun at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You see RGS under the fake sun after 2 o'clock as well, where this fake sun doesn't go anywhere, okay? And Uber Eats, Amazon Prime, whatever other name that you're talking about, those that are coming and delivering groceries, they're crossing path under an idle light source. And this is the exact same circumstance, which defies nature, however, because LAPD can't be in the natural environment while they're gang stalking me, which is a matter of a legal conclusion because the fake sun is over my head in the same manner. This is what Airlines is hovering over. This is the same Ontario International Airport where they're not flying in this direction over Woodside Senior Apartments. That's amplified traffic while a demon is flying a commercial plane while a fake sun remains over me. This is the demon possessed who are pacing amongst amplification. And on the inside of Tracy Banks' apartment, engineered light swiping across her ceiling. And I want you to see my shadow. You see this? RGS employees, they're going to mental asylums. They are continuously providing a body of evidence speaking to their mental illness and the malice. The impunity is intolerable. RGS will be criminally prosecuted. This is my arm, so you can see it. This is absolutely impossible light activity while they want you to look at what's supposed to be different. These are the elderly who are violent sex offenders who are gang stalking as a government program. And they know exactly what they're doing under a fake sun while your shadow appears above your head, magnified in size. This is the light activity inside of Tracy Banks' apartment where the sun, nor the fake sun, is inside of her apartment. Okay, it is the fake sun that's reflecting off of 51 in a perfect alignment with Tracy Banks' doorway like it is when I'm there. The fake sun moves as I move, and the engineer light remains all day long, okay? They're going to federal prison and they're going to mental asylums. Nobody cares that you're on a walker, okay? The feds will come and arrest you and haul you off just like every other predator, just like every other criminal stalker. They're all going to mental asylums. While you see that light activity, Linda Reyes is going to prison. And all these sex offenders were monitoring and engaging in what is stalking via activity. They're stalking a woman. They're sex offenders and predators that are doing so while they're also aware of the fact that I'm enforcing my rights. So they're not just predators and stalkers. They are those who are aware of the fact, because the government is acting with them, because they're engaged with federal stalking under Title 18. They're aware of the fact that I'm documenting them and that I'm publishing the evidence, and they persist. That's speaking of mental illness. Okay, that's P.O.C. All right, waving high is no less damning evidence as I wave my arm and impossible light activity is appearing. That's gang stalking 101. All right, the entity is engaged in a malicious pattern of conduct. This is where Southwest Airlines, don't forget who you saw in these videos. Southwest Airlines is a gang stalking predator, and they make a lot of money. Psychopaths, demons are flying commercial planes in Ontario. That's why the Ontario International Airport is going to be shut down. This is where, again, you already know that the police are gang stalking with the whole apartment complex. This is the same exact venue where the fake sun is rising, remaining in perfect alignment to me in this apartment after 5 p.m. All right, that's impossible light down here. Just want you to, where they're gang stalking, pacing on tractors, digging in the dirt, using shovels, and then they're running like cowards when I come out and get video. This in custody of minor children, stalking a woman inside of an apartment where they know that it's being documented as well. That's the city of Ontario, gang stalking, which is putting everybody in prison. It's the same damning evidence when the Ontario PD do it. And they're doing so flying next to the fake sun, by the way. That's no longer over Unit 41. It moves as I move. All right, and neither under any circumstances is sunlight ricocheting inside of the apartment, any apartment, while I happen to be engaged in documenting on my podcast. So that's why I want you to come outside and see the mental health patients who are going to mental asylums. This entire property is going to be prosecuted, and AVANATH Capital Management shall no longer participate in any housing programs where they are in violation of the very HUD rules themselves as a corrupt gang stalking company, its employees, and its residents who are co-defendants with regard to the legal theory of prosecuting the state's criminal engagement in the P.O.C. All right, it is currently 11:32 a.m. and the city of Los Angeles, just like the city of Ontario, is gang stalking under the exact circumstances which defy nature. There is no sun that's going to be in its zenith over me like I'm documenting, and there's no sunlight that creates my upright shadow on the outside apartment buildings, nor does it create any sunlight on the inside. They're all going to mental asylums that I've documented. Like I said, I will remind you about the up-close images of these predators who are going to mental asylums as the evidence that they continuously provide a federal prosecutor is being accumulated, not only published, but also for purposes of prosecuting them. That's engineer light that's piercing through the peephole. And while I'm on my podcast, engineer light that you can see stationary on the wall right here, shooting through some inexplicable manner. It's not sunlight. Okay, the entity is stalking while I am using my podcast, and this is light that is shooting horizontally. It's not the product of sunlight. The same impossible light you see outside is what happens inside of Tracy Banks' apartment, which you already know. But this is what's happening. It's psychological torture. Those demons are gang stalking while it's underway. That's how they're exhibiting their mental illness, by the way. The impossible light activity is pointing directly to their mind state. And RGS is the one that's gang stalking in the video that you see during the 1 p.m. hour where engineer light is fanning across on the inside of this apartment. Those same gang stalkers engaging in what is psychological torture tactics, which is putting them in mental asylums. It's tangible, conclusive evidence that's already on the record. While this has nothing to do with the sun outside, okay? It is doing so while you're looking at what is engineer light appearing in the depths of an apartment, and while you're outside shoveling, while you're outside on a tractor, while you're outside flying over in commercial planes, while you're outside sitting in your vehicle that's engaging in surveillance, and this is recognizing that surveillance, and this is also impunity and malice while you legally analyze their criminal conduct, that they are also engaging in what is surveillance on the video of the internet and via devices. The demon in Unit 43 with no walker, she's going to be handicapped in federal prison. Okay, and her speech to me, her talking to me is an unlawful threat. Okay, so the entity is doing so while inside, interfering with the operation of television and engineer light moving all about. And that's exactly what inspired my going out to get this video right now. All those defendants that I just documented before, I'm documenting again today, they're doing so with impunity and malice, and they're exhibiting severe mental illness, which is a threat to the life of the targeted individual, whom they are acting in furtherance of committing murder and defaming. That's what the illusion is supposed to result in. The illusion that the target individual is the one suffering from mental illness when you're gang stalking. They're doing that to commit murder and steal from me. They're going to federal prison and mental asylums. All right, it is, again, 11:35 a.m. where the fake sun's remaining over me, and this is the same circumstance with regard to the recognizing the environment where malicious pattern of conduct of gang stalking is underway. All right, and these sex offenders engaging in what is the same pattern of conduct during the 11 a.m. hour on what is a cloudy day. RGS is gang stalking on video, so I'll go ahead and remind you about that as well. And the same exact framing of impossible light is around the front door when they're gang stalking in relevant position, and their hammering is so powerful and impactful that it was causing the living room floor to vibrate. And the impossible light activity around the front door is the direct corroborating evidence of it. This is a supernatural occurrence, and so is the sensational activity. Okay, that's the P.O.C. and it's in concert with all the demons who are going to federal prison. They don't have to, none of them have to come out of their apartments. They're all going to prison in units 33 through 64. While this fake sun is still here in alignment to me, creating what is, again, impossible light activity, like you see my arm on the outside of that apartment building. The impossible light activity, while the fake sun is still here, creates the shadow of this metal case, this metal shelf on the opposite side of the porch, where you see it now appearing on that closet, on the patio closet door. It's appearing on Tracy Banks's patio. The engineer light, not sunlight, is so concentrated and powerful that the upright shadow of that metal rack is on this patio glass door, as I've captured an image I captured on a daily basis. And this same exact engineer light is present in a more concentrated color, and it's the same exact impossible light activity, while a population that includes the commercial actor RGS is gang stalking and engaging in psychological torture against somebody that's prosecuting them. But again, the demon possessed, again, they're not intelligent. They're not prudent. They're not wise at all. They're certainly not discerning. They're certainly engaging in a matter of this is light activity while you're being stalked. As I put my hand through it, that's impossible light activity. And this engineer light moves across the hallway door while the entity interferes with the operation of the television. This is how you're accomplishing monitoring. RGS employees and AVANATH capital management employees are going to prison, but I'm documenting this. RGS employees are going to be subject to mental asylums. This is the malice of the entity that I just captured conspicuously stalking, and their mental illness is put on full display while they're engaging the P.O.C, and they are supposed to be creating what is the appearance of normalcy, and you're looking at it's everything but that. Their mental illness is going to be at the forefront of their federal prosecutions, and they will be subject to the P.O.C as they're gang stalking with the state, using planes and not helicopters visibly and audibly, but the police are always gang stalking. They're gang stalking you, but that you can witness in the planes that are in these videos. It's 11:37 a.m. The fake sun still remains here. That's how I'm able to capture it. At 2:30 3:30 in the afternoon, right here in this little spot where the tree is. That's not a fake tree, that's a real tree, but the fake sun is at a lower elevation than the tree. That's how I'm able to stand right here and get it all on a daily basis. You're from now, during the 2 p.m. hour, the fake sun is in a position that it's reflecting off of the Demons parking spot in unit 43, which is what I documented on video yesterday. This is speaking to stalking by population. RGS is going to be severely prosecuted, and their employees are going to mental asylums, and then they are going to be deported if any of them are not natural born citizens. All gang stalking immigrants are out of this country. It is currently, again, 11:38 a.m. This is P.O.C. I want you to see the fake sign where you're gang stalking. No constitutionally protected rights to do so. And this is the city of Ontario, gang stalking flying right over. See, they're gang stalking, listening to every word that I utter, and they're doing so under a fake sun. That's why they're not burning up. And this is the same circumstances that LAPD is engaging the P.O.C. in the specific environment. It's prosecuting the people. All right, it is currently, again, 11:38 a.m. This is P.O.C.